Thank you for joining me today. Today's urgent message, today's urgent meeting, your 500 seconds of resilience. While I appreciate and thank you for joining me, and while I have mentioned before that I will never or attempt to not provide you with any specific or detailed answers, occasionally one slips in the enterprise of 820. But like today, I cannot guarantee to change your life, but I can guarantee you this. This episode will definitely change your perspective on this present moment. Today's topic is entitled Friend 3.0. If you've been with me for a few moments or a few other episodes in the 820 podcast series, I've tried to put some structure, as a typical analyst would do, definition behind what a friend really means. And it came about because I sincerely appreciate, and we all have been subjected to this with YouTube and Instagram and Twitter. Always want followers, and TikTok too. You want followers, and then we kind of like correlate those followers or people who have interest in our messages on those platforms as friends. And really, it kind of started more with on the Facebook side and the MySpace side many years ago. I think that's where me personally, I took umbrage with that. Meaning, how can you call your 1,000 friends around the world as people you never met? Even if you were a great singer or performer and you had events where people would show up physically and probably mentally, but still to call them friends because they expended some money and some energy and interest, I think that is a very myopic and short-sighted way to say you are my friend or I am your friend. So in discussion today, I want to talk about this friend again, this definition I've been working with for myself, and I hope that it makes sense to you. So this is additional clarity on that definition for friends, and particularly on top of that foundation as a purpose and message of these podcasts about self-discovery and resilience. So these are, I guess, 6 other parameters I want to offer to you to consider in how you define friend. Number 1, and I may have mentioned these before, but again, I'm refining that definition or those parameters. Number 1, for a friend to be a friend, I think I should share a common experience with that person. Number 2, we should have common or respective and relatable traumas in our lives. Number 3, over a sustained period of time, like maybe a year calendar-wise, but also what I call a considerable sustainable amount of time, like 4 seasons. Meaning not necessarily spring, summer, fall, winter, like we do in our normal lives. I mean 4 seasons, put it in quotation marks, that we have gone through in a sustained period, like, day 1 to day 365. We've gone through some things that would qualify as going through seasons. Say, for example, not necessarily spring, summer, winter, blah, 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 but maybe time where we were, having fun, no issues, kind of topical. Then it got hot and we went through some areas where we had to negotiate and be uncomfortable. to try and cool off, for example. And then fall, still kind of, melancholy time frame, kind of easing into the change of weather between us and our environment together. And then winter, cold, brisk, closed off to ourselves, to each other. But those 4 seasons of our relationship, I think that is a qualifying way to describe the 4 seasons that we should go through to then say we are friends. And the last 3 things, items 4 through 6, on top of those first 3 pieces of an outline of a structure for a relationship and a friendship. The last 3, I would think, to have defined and protected a developing friendship, you must have mutually independence, loyalty, and integrity. So that's beyond me and you. It's beyond what I have and what you have. It's beyond what I lack and what you perceive that you lack. Those things are immaterial. It's not about the stuff we have shared in those seasons or in our phases of developing the friendship. It's all about our connection, what brought us together, with commonalities, and about substance and quality of our interactions. And again, what I should have said also, it doesn't necessarily mean we have to live together, be cooped up in a house for months or years at a time. It means that consistency, that we are making that connection and maintaining it. Quality is a measure of those 6 aspects for resilient relationships and friendships. It's not about quantity, just quality, and in all those 6 areas I have addressed here. Especially number 3, over a sustained period of time and across those 4 seasons. Sustained quality and consistency develops the overall quality of a friend. For you, for me, and that friend. When you apply this to your circle of acquaintances and interests and followers, that number of friends will probably shrink. And that's intentional in this episode. Stop counting your followers and likes and your Rolodex entries as friends. Relook that list. Make that call. Call those markers in. Cash out those people you've been calling friends, but without justification or definition. You might do that having a vast list of friends for tradition and history purposes. But notice, once you put this metric or these metrics against that list, many of those won't make the cut. But choose your own metrics. I'm just offering you my perspectives on these. But apply them to all of them on your list and for your sake and sanity. You can't be friends with everyone. You can love all of them. That's the easy part. Not just to learn to like those you love. The friend work, the work of being a friend, is just that, work. So, you and I developing a friendship here, let's make it work. Please, stay current. Remember what time it is. It's always 8:20.